Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it so much. This is a really big, really special night for me. This is the celebration of my book finally coming out into the world at large. And it just means a lot that you guys took time out of your schedules to be here and come here and cheer me on and talk about Ayurveda and holistic living and just be part of the vibe. So thank you guys so much. And we're going to have a little bit of a chat now. My friend Tracy is going to talk to me about my book. But first, we have the publisher, Tina.
Yes, I just want to say thank you and congratulations for this amazing book. And we're so proud that you chose our relatively new publishing house, very non-traditional. And you took a chance on us, and I'm so grateful and so happy with your book. So I just want to say congratulations, and so happy to have worked with you. So,
And
there
now,
you go.
Oh, thank you. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, it's never wrong with flowers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so now we're just going to have a little chat about my book and maybe answer some questions that you might have had about it. So come on up, Tracy.
Hello.
Woo!
I had to write this down because I am a Vata. If you buy the book, you'll know what that is. So I'm all over the place. I have all the questions here. But introducing Jessica, all of you know her. Jessica. Yeah.
Can you guess? Vata.
Like Vata energy over here. That's why we talk for 7 hours about I don't even know what. But Jessica is so much more than a yoga teacher. She's an inspiration to so many people. I felt like when I met Jessica, you kind of woke me up to kind of change my life and be more self-aware. And we've had this really beautiful friendship. She's also the host of One Sacred Pause podcast. That is just amazing. Check that out. And she is also a wonderful teacher of the Ottman School. There's a lot of teachers from the Ottman School here. Yay! And I think Jessica's always been into wellness. If you go to a spa with her, she's got 7 to 15 little rituals we have to do, and you take it very seriously. And every time I have a question about my skin or my digestion, even the stuff that nobody wants to talk about, you are on speed dial.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how you got into Ayurveda and got interested in it and how it supports you in your everyday life.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's kind of a big question. I got into Ayurveda probably 15, 16 years ago, and this was, I guess, coming at a really pivotal shift in my life, and I write about this a little bit in the book, where I was in my mid-20s, and I wasn't sure what I was doing with my life, and yoga kind of crossed my path, and as the sister science of yoga, Ayurveda kind of came along for the ride with yoga, and the more that I started to learn about Ayurveda and just this rhythm of living and how we can live in harmony with nature and how that can help guide us through the changing seasons, through the changing hours of the day, through even the changing seasons of our life, I was really intrigued and connected and inspired by that. And of course, I'm a little bit of a self-care junkie. Yes. And so that aspect of, as I just said a minute ago, flowers are never wrong. Thank you. So when I started learning about some of the very tangible, concrete practices of self-care that Ayurveda teaches us, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hooked already. And very quickly, my life shifted from one that was chaotic and perhaps a bit unhealthy and really ungrounded to one that was all of a sudden having a direction and having some purpose and feeling like there was something I knew I wanted to do with my life, and that was study yoga, study Ayurveda, and live a life that was so much more beautiful than I thought life could be before that. So, it changed my life. It did, and pretty quickly. And ever since then, I've been on a mission to share Ayurveda and yoga with as many people as I possibly can. So that's why I became a teacher.
Well, everyone who knows Jessica knows that you really live your yoga and live your Ayurvedic lifestyle. What I mean, I feel like you always share so much kind of personal, non-personal, but tips and inspiration with people through your podcast and through your trainings. But why specifically Ayurveda? Like, what did you want to communicate in this book particularly? Who is it meant for? And not what the results, you never know what you put out there, but what was your intention?
Yeah. Again, so many good questions. My intention for this book was really to get Ayurveda out to the Norwegian market. As I've been leading my teacher trainings in Norway for the past almost 7 years, this is probably the most common question I get is, where can I find resources about Ayurveda, Ayurvedic medicine, and holistic living in Norwegian? And so I really wanted to find a way to share my knowledge with the Norwegian market. And so being able to write this book in Norwegian was just like phenomenal to me. And so that was my intention, was this is tangible ways to change your life. This is concrete tips on how to change your life. It's not a fad. It's not some like crazy, okay, starve yourself for 30 days. It's not some like flash in the pan. This has been around for over 5,000 years. And yet it's able to adapt and modify to the modern time in such a beautiful way that I think it really can have or support meaningful change in people's lives. And so getting it out to the Norwegian market, and then also just the message of Ayurveda, which is we all deserve to live lives that feel happy, grounded, balanced, and beautiful. And when our lives in general, just from nature of the modern times, feel chaotic and ungrounded and stressful, it's like, all right, well, there's recommendations to how to eat for your dosha, recommendations for how to exercise for your dosha, recommendations on how to improve your sleep, recommendations for things that I think we all are looking for improving in our life. So yeah, I'm like ride or die for Ayurveda. I want to get it out there. So yeah.
Well, I'm still not there with the hot smoothies yet,
Well,
because that's part of the Ayurveda stuff, but it is
you
more.
can have lukewarm. You don't have to have hot.
So it's more than hot smoothies and tongue scraping.
Yeah.
So maybe just talk about kind of 5 things that most people in the room could do right now that doesn't really relate to a dosha, and then we can talk a little bit.
Yeah, and this is like what everybody wants to know, right? It's like, give me the quick fix.
Yeah.
And Ayurveda itself is not a quick fix. It is slow yet sustainable change, and I really love that, and I want to get that message out. If we do anything too quickly, it's not likely that we're going to sustain that, and that's not helpful for anybody. But 5 things we can do right now, maybe I'll give 3, that we can all do right now that will be helpful. First of all, drink room temperature water or warmer, so no ice cold drinks. This really dampens. I know.
Starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow, yeah. Yes. It dampens the Agni, the digestive fire, and Ayurveda believes that disease or discomfort or disease cannot exist if our digestive fire is strong. So a really quick way to help support the digestive fire is to drink room temperature water or warmer, so hot beverages. The second one, of course, we talk a lot about tongue scraping. This also helps improve digestion as well as removing toxins from the body, because so many people don't know that the tongue is actually one of the largest detoxification organs of the body. And so when we wake up in the morning and there's this thick coating or maybe a watery coating on the tongue, and then we just eat our food or we brush our, I know everybody's like, brush our teeth. Basically what's happening is we're reabsorbing that ama or that toxic matter back into our body, back into our digestive tract. And then our body has to work twice as hard to expel it again. So scraping the tongue in the morning, I have an example over on the table, a clean example over on the table. You can check out, and first thing in the morning before you drink anything or eat anything, you gently scrape the coating of toxic matter off your tongue. No, it's actually with a tongue scraper.
I'm gonna hook you up.
You sell it?
No, I don't sell it. But the Feel Good Shop does. Suniva, she sells it. Yeah.
We sell them.
Oh, you guys sell it too. And oh, yes. So this is the crowd. This is the wellness powerhouse thing. Yeah. And then let's see, the third thing I would probably say, I mean, this is my all-time favorite. This is the thing I do every single day.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like the Abhyanga.
It's the Abhyanga. It
And
is the Abhyanga.
the pajamas and the shades. Yeah.
Oh well, that's when I'm really going for it. And when I was single, that was much easier. But no, Abhyanga, which is according to Ayurveda, the ultimate act of self-love, and this is giving yourself a warm oil massage. And we use in Ayurveda traditionally organic cold press sesame seed oil. And when we massage our own body, several things are happening. The first one is we're moisturizing our skin. And dehydration, according to Ayurveda, is one of the fastest aging processes in the body. And so when we stay hydrated, both internally and externally, we stave off aging. And it's not about how we look physically. It's about how we function as we age. When our bones get more brittle, when our mind starts to wander. And so doing Abhyanga every day moisturizes the skin. So in the short term, keeping it soft, keeping it nice, keeping it feeling good. In the long term, it's actually an anti-aging practice. Also, the weight of the oil is very calming and soothing to the nervous system. And so this is amazing for anybody experiencing a Vata vitiation or anybody living in a Vata vitiated society. We all do. Or anybody living in a cold, dry climate. Oh, we all do. So this is just like, it's so wonderful. And then of course, the actual act of touching your own skin is so nourishing and so healing. Most of us live up here. And we don't think about our body in terms of anything other than how much do I weigh? And Ayurveda doesn't care how much you weigh. Ayurveda cares how you feel. And being able to do Abhyanga is just so beautiful. It's actually called Sneha in Sanskrit. And this means love. So it's an act of self-love. So if there's nothing else you want to do about Ayurveda, although there's so much we can do, I think this is a really beautiful entry point, starting place to begin to take care of yourself in a really holistic, kind way.
I have one more question because I don't know how long we have on this to wrap it up. But I feel like Ayurveda really gives you permission to be who you are with the doshas.
Yes.
Like as I started, I said, I'm very Vata. I've always been called Spacey Tracy. And then you gave me a very nice framework to be like, that's okay. There's a whole philosophy behind it. You just do you.
Yeah.
So I would like to talk a little bit about the 3 doshas. She has a quiz in the book so you all know what dosha you are and how to figure that out. And it does really support you in just being exactly who you are, which is kind of the point of this.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate this question. I think we live in a society that is very much comparison based. And we look at other people both physically, but also what they're doing with their life, what they have, what we don't have. And from a yogic meditation, Ayurvedic standpoint, this is very dangerous. And it only is going to create suffering in our life. And so when we can find a way to be happy with who we are and what we have and the gifts that we each possess, I think this completely shifts our entire experience of our own life. And Ayurveda really supports this because it is a science, a medicine that is bio-individual, meaning that it looks at each and every person as an individual. So what's going to be healthy and most balanced for me is not going to be most healthy and balanced for you, or most healthy and balanced for Sophia. Like, it doesn't, we're all different. And when we can appreciate our differences and then apply the principles of Ayurveda to our own experiences and our own set of circumstances, then the magic happens because we're finding our own true state of health, balance, and wellness. Instead of being like, oh, okay, well, so-and-so over here, they seem really healthy and balanced. Good for them. But what about you? And so that's just like the thing that I love about it so much is taking that pressure away and just being like, let's focus on what we are and who we are. And what a powerful message, I think, to hear.
Yes. I just want to say congratulations. I feel like this is just the first of many wisdom bombs you're going to produce in this format, many books to come, and you've been so inspirational in so many of our lives, and we all love you so much. So big congratulations. It's a privilege to call you my good friend. And you're just wonderful.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again so much for being here and supporting, and please share. You know, I'm really hoping to get the word out about this book. It is unique for the Norwegian market. This is the first book on the topic of Ayurveda written, published in Norwegian, and I think our society, the Norwegian society, is really starting to show some interest in holistic lifestyle, slow living. And in my book, it's so great because it's not just about like diet, sleep, things like that, but it's also about your home, your choices, your clothing, your relationships. And so it takes a very global approach to how we can cultivate better health and wellness in our life. And the more we talk about this, the more other people feel good in their life. So that's really my motivation from my heart, is to help other people feel good. And you being here supporting me helps me get that message out even more. So yeah, I love the idea. If anybody has a question, we can maybe answer one or two. And if not, well, then we'll just keep partying. But if anybody has one, you can raise your hand. No, all right. Yes.
Can I buy your book now?
Yes. Yes. I love that question. Yes. Yeah, I do have books for sale. If you want one, you can come see me. It's VIPs. It's pretty easy. Yeah.
Just speaking about the doshas,
Yeah.
and the 3 doshas, like, do you feel like really people fall into these types super correctly, or can it be like variation?
Yeah. So this is such a great question. So many people wonder this. In
We're
general,
not laughing on the question.
no. Would you?
No, we're not laughing on the question.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Because there's so much
Yeah.
behind it. That's what you're laughing at, I know. Yeah. Everybody has all 3 doshas, just in differing degrees. And a lot of the quizzes, including the one in my book, really, there's a few questions to the emotions, a few questions to the mind, but it's mostly about the physical. And so when we really go deeper into the doshas, we can have, for example, say a vata body type, and a pitta mind, and a kapha emotional body. And so then it gets more layered and more nuanced when it comes to finding like the true answer of like, who am I? Tell me. And so that's why, unfortunately, like the best way to get that exact answer for you individually is to see an Ayurvedic doctor who can look at your nails, that can look at your eyes, that can read your pulse, which is considered to be the true way to get your dosha composition. So we get pretty far with the tools that we have, the tools that I talk about in my book. And generally, my advice is always, once you kind of learn about the doshas and take a few quizzes, is what resonates the most with you? Like, which one do you think you are? Because here's the thing, like our intuition, our inner wisdom knows the answer. It's just, can we listen to it? Can we get quiet enough to still the fluctuations of the mind to be like, oh, okay, I think I know. So that's kind of like a non-answer answer, but yeah. Go to an Ayurvedic doctor. Listen to your intuition.
You guys buy my book. Just say that.
I mean, what if we do take the test in your book?
Yeah.
And we think we find out which version we are.
Yeah.
And we're wrong. And we start adapting our lives to Vata and then Pitta.
You'll know.
You'll know.
Like
You'll
it's,
know.
yeah.
You'll know.
I know which one you are.
I know.
I know which one you are.
You're
Yeah.
saying that you can be all 3, so I'm getting.
Well, you are all 3. Everybody's all 3.
Okay.
It's just in different degrees. Like, you cannot be in human form and not have all 3 doshas.
But how will I then know which one to follow? I mean,
Yes.
food-wise and so on.
Yes. So another really beautiful question. So if you are unsure of which your primary dosha is, which most people are pretty sure, unless you are tridoshic and they're all are very close in percentages, then the rule of thumb, and maybe this is where we'll end the little talk tonight because it's just like the golden rule in yoga, is you follow the season. So you eat for the season, you adapt your rituals to the season, you adapt your routines to the season. Yeah. Yeah. So right now we are in the Kapha time of year. We'll soon be moving into the Pitta time of year. So right now is a great time to really be activating practices, rituals, and routines that are going to balance Kapha. So eat spicy food, go to the sauna, do some rigorous exercise, stimulate the Agni, switch up your routines, take a different way home from work. Try a new activity. Go take a dance class. Go take a ceramics class. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys again so much for being here.
I don't know what I asked, but I didn't read the script. But I think you were great.